That's right. That's right.
Baby, I'm so glad to see you. That's my cousin right there. I was calling you, but I was shaking. That's my cousin right there. Be on the lookout for him. One day he gonna find me a plane ticket and fly me across the country because he's doing amazing and big things. Amen. Amen. He's marked to do great things. Amen. 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 John chapter 6. You got it? Do me a favor, say word. Word. All right. John 6, verse 10. Jesus said, make the men sit down. I want to do that again. I like that part right there. Brother Jason. And Jesus said, ask the men. No, did they say that in your Bible? He said, could you get the men to?
Make them.
He said, make them, didn't he? Jesus said, make the men sit down. I want to teach for a few seconds from the subject, I gotta find a seat. I gotta find a seat. I had a friend, Langston. I had a friend. He was a good friend. I'm scared because they're recording this, but we were a friend. He was a friend when I was a kid. He was a young friend. He lived about a mile away from us. He was my friend. He was my homie, Brother Jason, but he didn't come from the same house I came from. And at our house, we cleaned, and at their house, they didn't quite clean. You understand what I'm saying? It was the one friend you met in the front yard. Anybody ever had a front yard friend? Y'all didn't have, I'm the only one. I can't come in your house. Come on out and play. Can he come out and play, please? And the way I found that out, Ms. Robin, is I went into the house one day when I didn't know much better. And if anybody who really, really knows me, I'm a pretty clean dude. I really like clean houses. I like the smell of pine sol and bleach mixed together. It blesses something in my spirit. And I went in the house and they had creatures crawling in their house. They had on the bookcase. I saw one kind of slide up, and then one of the gentlemen was sitting down, and he had a cup, and I saw one slide in the cup and then come back out. And my friend, he asked me a question I'll never forget because I think my face might have ended our friendship. He says to me, "Man, why don't you sit down?" I said in my head, and I want to share with you, I can't sit down in here because what you got might get on me. All right. Has anybody ever sat down in the wrong environment and what was in the environment got on you because you had a seat where you had no business getting a seat? All right. Let's just talk like we family for 2 seconds. I learned, Becky, that if you sit down in a house that got roaches and one of them get on you, you will bring them home with you, and then you'll be wondering, I clean up every day. How do I have roaches? It's because you brought something home with you because you sat down. Watch this. You got it living in your house because you sat down in the wrong environment. Has anybody in their heart, come on, do me a favor. Let's do heart inventory this morning. Do you have something sitting inside of your heart because you sat down somewhere you shouldn't have, and now you're trying to fumigate your existence? You're trying to eradicate what's inside of your heart. And I don't want to think like this, but I keep thinking like this. I don't want to be in love with this, but I keep falling in love with it. I don't want to go back there, but I keep getting drawn back there because I had a seat in a contagious environment, and I brought it home with my heart.
You saying something?
Oh God, I can't sit there because it's contagious. Oh, let me help you. Maybe that doesn't bless you. Maybe that doesn't bless you. I like the movies. I like movies. Brother Jason, I'm really jealous of you and your children. Y'all made it to the Avengers movie before I did. I'm a little jealous. But don't worry, by this time tomorrow evening, I'm sure to have seen it. Yes, I am. I am an Iron Man fan. Iron Man is actually my favorite Marvel character. I know, don't judge me because I know y'all like Black Panther. Don't throw nothing at me, but Tony Stark is that dude. All right, here it is. I went to Studio Movie Grill. And they have this interesting thing where they feed you while you watch the movie. And they got this buzzer that you can bring, you can press the buzzer. And you can get food and order food. You press a buzzer and you order food. Y'all with me? Yeah. You press the buzzer and you order food. Say you press the buzzer and you order food. Well, I pressed the buzzer and I ordered some chicken. Of course. I ordered some chicken and the lady came back and she came back with some fries and no chicken. Ma'am, I didn't get this size from eating fries. I'm gonna need some chicken. What happened was, she brought somebody else's food to the wrong seat. They had a mix-up in seating. All right. I want to ask you a question. Have you ever had a mix-up in seating? Where you were brought the wrong thing because of your seat mix-up? I wasn't supposed to have to deal with this because I was sitting in the right seat. But you know, it's a blessing in that, Crenshaw. Let me skip to the end of my Studio Movie Grill story to help you understand my seat praise. When she finally did bring me my chicken, it was free.
Hallelujah.
Right. And if you know anything about good chicken, you know that when they sprinkle free on chicken, it blesses you all the more. It was some of the best chicken fingers I ever had in life because they were sprinkled with free. Amen. Amen. I need you to know that you think it's a seat mix-up, but it's really a miracle in the making. I say it again. You think it's a seat mix-up, but it's really a miracle in the making. When it looks like hell, if you keep living through it, I have discovered that there is always a miracle on the other side of every hell experience. I've discovered that God will not allow his children to go through hell and then not come out with blessing. Right. He will not allow his children, I'm going to say it again, to go through hell and not come out with blessing. That's why Romans 8 says, I reckon that the suffering of this present time is not worthy to be compared to the glory which shall be revealed. Which means it's happening after this. All right. But here's the thing. I got one last one for you. A couple of Sundays ago, we decided we were going to go out to eat like we do every Sunday because we hungry. And Angela, we got to, I believe it was to Cracker Barrel, and them jokers had like an hour wait. Because you know Cracker Barrel got the best chicken. On Sunday. We got to the Cracker Barrel and they had an hour wait. And Brittany, I had this moment where I realized that the server couldn't serve me until I got seated. Oh, somebody get ready to catch this. That the server couldn't serve me until I got seated. All right. I need some of us to know that God wants to give you the miracle, but the server can't serve you the miracle until you get seated. All right. And you have to be seated in the right section in order to get what he has for you. And sometimes our miracle has passed our life because we have not been seated in the right section. God, help us to find the right section in this room, because I don't want to miss another opportunity. I don't want another miracle to pass my life. I don't want the blessing to go skip to my neighbor's house. I want it at my address. And because I do, I need to make sure I'm seated so the server can serve my section. Sit down. John chapter 6 is a miracle, Pastor Elliott, that is I call it a hallmark miracle. Because down through the eons of time, people have still been talking about how Jesus fed the 5,000. You haven't sat in church more than a year and a half and not heard about Jesus feeding 5,000. He fed 5,000. But there are some things underneath the miracle that I would like for us to talk about, because I need to find a place to sit. Seat refers to posture. It refers to what you believe. Seat refers to what issue you will speak up on and which ones you will let go by. Seat refers to judgment. how you judge your life. Not judgment like you going to hell, but judgment like I'm driving and I need to judge how far ahead the car is in front of me to determine my speed. I need to make a judgment to figure out. That's what seek means. And this text is so rich, Angela, with seek. John 6. So when we start the story, Jesus looks up, the Bible says, when you go home, read the whole story, and Jesus looks up and he sees this crowd of people. He sees this complex congregation of individuals who are coming to hear the word, and they've been studying the word. And Jesus looks at Philip. He says, hey, yo, Philip, man, how we going to feed these people? He says to Philip, how we going to feed these people? And Philip, in turn, says, hey, man, hold on, let's read it. John 6, you still got your Bible open. Is it okay if we read it a little bit? I was going to try to give you the fast forward version, but I think I'd like to do the slow and steady.
Go ahead.
Verse 5, when Jesus then lifted up his eyes and saw a great company come unto him, he said unto Philip, when shall we buy bread that these may eat? Jesus said, how can we buy bread? I want to skip ahead to skip backwards. No, let's just do it. Verse 6. And this was said he said to prove him, for he himself knew what he would do. But that verse 6 is so key to what happens in this story. Because Jesus already has decided how he's going to make a miracle happen for these people. But he's asking Philip a question to figure out what seat Philip is sitting in. He's trying to understand Philip's stance. I need us to know in this room, because every now and then you'll run across a circumstance where God is asking you a question. God is not asking you the question, watch this, so that he can find or figure out what to do. He's asking the question so you can see where you are.
Yes. That's good.
Yeah, and sometimes, I'm a big on this. I am huge on this. This is big for me. You need to learn, Langston, it'll take you real far if you do it, how to ask yourself questions. Why am I doing this? Why do I like this kind of girl? Why? Why do I want to go and do this particular career? Why? Because see, if you underneath the whys of life, you find motive. And if you look at your motive, you can find broken ones and fix them before they become problems.
Yes.
Oh man,
yes.
If every person in this room, if we all be honest, if we had to ask ourselves why before we got into the mess, we would have been so much better off.
Yes, sir.
I had daddy issues, and I didn't realize that my daddy issues had played a role in how I was picking. And because I'm picking the wrong mates, I'm getting the wrong results. And I never took the time to ask myself, why am I attracted to this type of individual?
Right.
We need to learn how to ask ourselves why. Why I'll fix our poverty? Why will fix poverty? Why do I spend all of my, see, I'm crazy, bro. I'm crazy like this. This is what I do right here. This is what I do. I take and go on my Chase app sometimes, and you know, Chase will give you a diagram of what you spend your money on. It will. It'll give you like a pie chart, and it'll tell you spend most of your money on this, and it'll give you a breakdown of what you use your debit card for, right? And I look at the debit card and ask myself, why did I spend most of my money on this? Have you ever thought about what do you spend most of your money on and why? Let me watch this. I'm just going. I done already told you I'm a fat boy, so let me go down the fat boy road, by the whole shit. Why am I spending most of my money on food? Watch this, because food is often a soother.
Yeah.
So I'm spending my money on my food because it's covering up the pain that I don't want to deal with. When you ask yourself why, you start to uncover the motive. And that will. So Jesus says, he says it to prove of himself. And Philip's answer, like most of us, he said, hey Jesus, we broke out here. That's what Philip's answer is. Philip's answer is like, dude, look, we got 20 penny loaves of bread. 20 penny loaves. We ain't got but a couple of coins, bro. How we gonna feed 5,000 people, 5,000 men, and we ain't got enough for a loaf of bread? You tripping, Jesus. You tripping. And you asked me. Why you ain't asked Judas? He's the treasurer. Watch this. Philip's seat is in his resources. Or Philip's seat, I want to give it to you like he gave it to me, is in his ability. And not God's ability.
Right.
That's where his seat is. Philip is sitting in the seat of what I can do, not what God can do. Oh man, can I ask you a question today? Are you sitting in your own ability seat? Is that where you sit? Do you sit and look and watch this? I teach them this. I taught them this. I'm going to teach it to you. Check this out, Becky. This is really dope to me. God never has a plan B. And our plan B is a lack of trust for plan A.
All right.
Whenever we develop a plan B, it's because there is some doubt in us that plan A won't work, so I got to have a recover.
Yeah.
But watch this. If God gave you a plan A, then why did you develop a plan B?
That's right.
See, when we have a plan B, it is a lack of faith in God's ability and in our inability. Watch this. I have to have faith, Sister Robin, in God's ability in my inability. I'm going to say it again because that's really big. That's a huge statement because you have to learn how to believe God who is able to do all things when you aren't able to do anything. My mama testified, so I'm going to go on and share. We family. Let's talk just like a family for a second. Aunt Joyce it looked like she died. But we have to learn that God's ability and our inability is what we must trust.
That's right.
I'm not saying that she gonna live to be 1,000. I ain't saying she gonna live 5 days. I'm just saying that none of us actually know how long she gonna live, Crenshaw. Right. So we ought not make judgment calls and plan funerals until God says something different. Watch this, because I don't trust doctors. I don't trust lawyers. I don't trust. Y'all gonna judge me, but don't you judge me. I don't even trust preachers. I trust God.
Yes.
His ability over my inability. I trust Him more than I trust myself. I don't have the resources, but I know the source. I wish I had some church school folks in here who would go to church with me for 2 seconds because this morning's lesson was about the source. I don't trust my resources. I don't trust my job. I don't trust my relationships. I don't trust any of that more than I trust the fact that I know the one who owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. I know the one who made me and who by His stripes we are healed. I know the one who is the source. And I trust the source more than I trust myself. You got to, Brittany, now that's a tall order. That's a tall order there. When I'm looking for a seat in the sanctuary, I have to learn to trust God more than I trust my ability to pick a seat. But can we talk for a second, sis? Because I preach like this when you come. It's just because you're here. When I pick seats, I've learned I pick them wrong. But see, you have to come to a realization that you're not good at picking seats before you let God pick seats. You have to be real enough. This is where y'all not gonna like me. You have to be real enough to make a conscious effort to look at your decisions and see they're not working. Before you can really effectively trust God to make decisions for you. I tried them, Jesus, and it didn't work out. Now I'm gonna try you. Philip, he tells us where he sits at, and then Andrew, with his loud mouth. Philip said, we ain't got enough money. Andrew says, it's a little boy in the crowd. It's a little boy. He got 2 fish and 5 barley loaves. It's a little boy out here. Now watch this, Sister Christine. I think you might dig this. I want to know how he found out about the little boy. It's 5,000 men and Andrew. How you know about this little boy? That's 2 different interesting thoughts that I'd like to bring up here. Maybe Andrew's jealous of the little boy. Maybe his seat is in jealousy. You do know, Sister Elliott, jealousy will make some people drive you to Jesus. Watch this. Jealousy is what's pulling the little boy to Christ.
Wow.
Oh, man. Oh, you going to catch this because could it be that Andrew was so jealous of the little boy that he took the little boy by the hand and brought him to the Savior and said, this little boy got something. That gives me exegetical license. That gives me good room to argue that God is using the people who don't like you to push you into his presence and give you a seat at the table. Oh, watch this. Because I discovered, don't y'all shadow me and I'll be good. Psalm 23 told me that he doesn't prepare tables until enemies are present. And so perhaps my enemy is preparing, is helping God to prepare me a table because he doesn't prepare tables until enemies are present. I'm going to say it again till you get it. He doesn't prepare tables until enemies are present. He doesn't bless me until my enemy can see me. Perhaps you've been hiding in a seat behind a bush too long and you need to come out of hiding and have a seat in plain sight, because in plain sight your enemy has a good view of you, and when your enemy has a good view of you, he can bless you because the enemy's present.
Yeah.
We've been running scared and it's keeping us from being blessed. I'm having a seat in plain sight right now. Because the thug in me wants the devil to know ain't nobody scared of him. I wish I had some real people who got delivered for real, who've been brought out of some real stuff, who have been through some real issues. Watch this, Crenshaw. When you've been through the real hood, we churchy. We too churchy sometimes. I didn't get called, Becky, to the churchy. I got called to the one who came from the streets. And when you came from the streets, you would holler at him and you, hey, bruh, you want me, come find me.
There you go.
I'm not hiding from you. I don't fear no man. That sound familiar, right, bruh? But why is it that we do that with the devil? We run from the devil when if we would just stand in plain sight, he would run from us. Yeah, Brittany, I'm gonna get blessed. Just like that little boy who Andrew had jealousy and true to Jesus, I'm going to use every adversity around me to drive me to Jesus.
Yes.
It's pulling me by the hand. Okay. Andrew may have sat in a seat of jealousy, but perhaps the little boy was bragging. I like the latter of this. My mama made me lunch. Why your mama ain't make you lunch? My mama gave me 2 fish. If she made enough fish to share with you, why you somebody daddy and you ain't making lunch? You the man and you ain't making lunch? I knew when I came out here to see Jesus I was going to be here all day and get hungry. Why you ain't get something? Kick it with us. I'm so glad that when I brag, it doesn't stop God's plan. Have you ever bragged on God so much that it make you nervous if he gonna do what he said he was gonna do? I done been there. I done put my faith all the way out there. In 2 weeks, God's gonna make me a millionaire. Watch God do it. 13 days, 23 hours, I'm sitting in a corner nervous. Jesus, are you really going to do it? Yeah. The little boy bragged, but I'm glad God didn't just stop his plan from the little boy bragging. Okay, we had to text. Okay, dude. Help me to sit down. Because if the truth be told, I've chosen some seats and it's really time for me to settle myself and sit down somewhere. I really want to sit down, but I'm having a tough time picking seats. Anybody ever had a tough time picking seats? I don't know where I'm supposed to be right now. I ain't sure where I'm supposed to sit. Help me to pick a seat. The first thing you must understand is Jesus did not ask them to sit down. The first word I want to give you is make. Y'all say make. Make. You know, make refers to molding. It refers to shaping. In order to shape a thing, though, it has to be pliable for you to shape it. Watch this. Some of us are asking God to make us over, but we're stone. You can't shape stone. You got to chisel it off. Watch this. He wants to mold you, so you have to learn how to make yourself pliable to the seat he chooses. God, where do you want me to sit? And there will I sit. Watch this. Most of us, we will ask God where to sit. But when he tells us where to sit, we will not want to sit there. Because God will never tell you to sit in a comfortable seat. Goodness. Teach, Kershaw. I'm trying my very best. Minister Price, the ironic truth about God is that he will never give you a comfortable seat. He will never give you plush seat.
That's right.
He doesn't have it. Because when you get in comfortable seats, you become stagnant. And if you become stagnant, you will not grow. And if you do not grow, you will not be what he called you to be. So if he gives you a comfortable seat, you will become comfortable and complacent in the seat. You will be stuck in a seat. And there are enough of us in this room who have been stuck in a seat. And God does not call us to comfortable seats. Can I tell you this? At the risk of losing half of my audience today, the enemy has a seat for you too.
Yes. Yes.
And it's plush.
Yes.
It look real comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
It does. It does. It look. Well, I know we in church. Can I tell you that sometimes I told them this, that everybody's eyes got real big one day. The enemy will bless you too.
I know that's right.
He'll bless you to keep you comfortable.
That's right.
He'll bless you to keep you in your spot. He'll make sure that you make enough money to stay at that job, because he understands that if you take the faith leap to get the new job, then you might excel into what God wants you to be. So watch this. I know you looking like he comes to kill, steal, and destroy, but the plan of the enemy is not necessarily what comes up first. It don't look like death, because he wants to keep you comfortable enough to kill you.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Mm-hmm. You got to choose to be comfortable. And you have to learn that you need to, when God talks to you, when he makes you to sit down, it is because, watch this, Crenshaw, he had to make them sit down because it was uncomfortable. Yeah, he made them sit. You do know what it means to make somebody sit down, right?
Force them.
I'm gonna move on in a second. I remember one time, my mama had a foster kid. She had a foster son, and I'm big on respect, right? Kids are gonna respect, and any kid gonna respect my mama. I got whoopings for that. She had this little boy, Lord have mercy. He was the demon seed of Chucky. All from Zion. This little boy, we came out of church. This is gonna make you believe what I'm telling you, right? We were coming out of church, and he was at the church. The church had a billboard in front. He was on the billboard taking the letters off the church sign. Right, you looking like, huh? No, yeah, he was out there changing the words on the church sign. The demon seed of church. He refused to sit down.
Oh, yeah.
He refused to sit down.
Oh,
He refused. Now, my mother, first of all, he swung on my mother. Y'all know. You know me and my mama, you know I almost went to jail already. But he wouldn't sit down. Eventually, I had to make him sit down. I had to sit down. Watch this, because he refused to sit down. Can I tell you that some of us need to relabel our suffering right now? Because what you're going through is really the process of God making you sit down. You didn't want to sit in this seat. You didn't want to be in this space. You didn't want to do this. You didn't want to do that. You had a list of things. I ain't doing this. I ain't doing that. I ain't doing this. God knows you ain't going to get me to do that. I ain't going over there. I ain't going to talk to them. I ain't going to mess with them. I don't even like them. I'm not forgiving them. I'm not going to go through that with them. I'm not going to talk to them. If they misuse me, they abuse me, and I'm not going to act like it's okay. I refuse to act like Christ in this situation is essentially what you're saying. And here comes Jesus with his great self, and he starts putting all these issues on you to force you back to where you said you wouldn't go, to do what you said you wouldn't do, because he's going to make sure you have a seat where he said to you to sit down. But you wouldn't have to suffer like that if you just decided to sit down where he said sit down. If you just decided, I'm going to call him and say, look, I forgive you. It's rough. I know. It's hard. But God, I love God too much to hold this against you. I forgive you. I let it go. Instead of having been made to do. Amen. Okay, that's the first part. That's the first part. He made them sit down. He didn't just make them sit down. He made the men sit down. God will give me something, brother. I think We the only couple brothers in the house. Y'all shake my hand, bro, he made the men sit down. You gotta say right there. I can't wait for us to get out. He made the brothers sit down. Yeah. I ain't mad at you ladies, but when a man sits down, the whole house sits down. Watch this. Because he made men leaders, to be leaders. And we dictate. I ain't gonna argue with nobody. You don't like me, don't like me still. Keep that same energy next week. But he makes men sit down because men dictate the flow. Watch this. And I have to be fair to this modern world where we have too many men not sitting down.
All right.
And I have to tell some woman that though you were made to follow him, because he's not there, you need to sit down too. Because you are now a leader in the home where you weren't created to be a leader in the home.
Right.
But you have to watch this. For the sake of your house's peace, you must do the text, which means sit down. Watch this. The text says men because men refer to leadership. Men refer to headship. Men refer to the head of a thing. See, watch this. My feet and my legs and my behind will do what my head says do. You have to learn to watch this. Can I talk to my sisters and tell y'all, stop submitting to dudes who ain't sitting down nowhere? I ain't trying to. Look, we got some brothers in here who learning the word. So you ain't you can't fool with us. We in here. We sitting down. You sitting down, brother? Hold on, I'm sitting down too. No. But deliver me from this new generation of women who are so in love with bad boys who are not seated anywhere. And then you get in love with him, you try to marry him, and then you try to ask him to have a seat. No, function. It's the other way around. You gotta in love with somebody who is seated.
I try to tell them that.
Because if you fall in love with a man who ain't in the seat, then let me tell you something, your life is going to be filled with all different types of hell. But on the other side of that, stop thinking that because I'm seated, watch this, stop thinking because I'm seated, I'm submitted to you.
All right.
As a man, I'm a leader. And sometimes a woman will trip because I'm seated on a subject, I'm here where I'm at. And she'll think it's because you're submitted to her. It's not because you're submitted to her, it's because you're submitted to him. I'm just trying to do what's right to you because I love God.
That's right.
And if we all be honest, I'm going to turn this way because Pastor Elliot over here, it's all men. Sometimes your mouth, hold it up, come on, will make me not want to submit to this relationship.
Yeah.
But because I love God, he helps me overlook your mouth. I'm seated. Watch it. Now I'm going to open it up. I need to open it up because it's not just me. Can I tell you, leadership, every person in here who is a leader in any capacity, you must have a seat. Leadership will make you sit down on every subject. Because every person that comes to you is going to come to you to pull you some direction. And it will force you to sit down. Mr. Price, why don't you sing this song? Why don't you sing this kind of song? You need to sing this kind of song. You need to do this. And your friends will tell you, Mr. Price, you need to lead like this. You need to do this. You need to find this. You need to get this. You need to have this. Watch this. It's all pulling at you because you're a worship leader. But it makes you have to have a stand. Amen. Okay. Make men, I got to give you one last word. Much. Text says, y'all learned something today?
Yes.
Amen. That's what I was looking for. Verse 10, Jesus said, make the men sit down. Now there was much grass in the place. Much grass refers to that heat. There was ample opportunity to be seated. God would not ask you to sit where there's not enough room to seat. Watch this. Can I tell you something? The Bible says that your gift will make room for you. God doesn't ask you to sit in small places. He asks you to sit where there's enough room for you. Some of us have mistaken the potential for the promise. Can I say that again? Some of us have mistaken potential for promise. They have the potential to handle me. They have the potential to house my gift. They have the potential. This circumstance has the potential to be beneficial to me. But just because it has the potential does not mean it's the promise. I just told you that the devil will bless you too. He will bless you with what looks like potential to trap you. You don't set traps and not put good stuff around them. Let me digress the progress. I don't know if you fish, but this brother was fishing last week, a couple weeks ago, and we went up the street right here to the fish market. Yeah, thank you, Caplingers. We went to Caplingers. Caplingers is fire. It's amazing fried fish. You understand me? Like God made that. He put it in, and the size is good. I ain't never had macaroni and cheese out, but it's good. It's all right. But the brother was in there, and it's a fish market, so they have the whole case. And he was buying a whole bunch of shrimp. What you doing with all this shrimp, bro? You about to fry something? Nah, man, I'm going catfishing. He said, yeah, I take the shrimp and I soak it in garlic and all these nasty spices so it can smell wrong for me, but it smells great to the catfish. Then I hook the shrimp onto my hook. And the catfish is drawn to the shrimp. And then I get them on the hook. Watch this. With just a dangling hook, the catfish ain't coming.
Right.
But with the potential sight of a meal, the catfish comes running. How many of us have came running for potential and it wasn't promised and we were trapped? Like the catfish on the hook. My God. We have to learn how to stop falling in love with potential and ask God, is this the promise?
Yes.
Like John the Baptist said, are you here or should we look for another? I need to make sure this is the promise. And I won't make a decision. It's okay. Jay, can I teach you something? It's okay to wait for it. That's big. It sounds small, but it's big. It's okay to have an opportunity, stare you in the face, and do the opportunity like this. Hold on, I need to talk to God. Father, is this right for me? Wait on him to hear it. Wait to hear him, and then come back and say, okay, we can press play on this. So many of us look at opportunity and we think we have to go right now. I have to take it. I have to go. This is my moment. Listen, the next time they give you a job offer, take that piece of paper and look at it.
Yeah.
I'll get back with you. Stop because they gave you an offer. Most of us in this room, they give you the offer, you don't even read the letter for real. You go straight to the compensation package. Oh, that's enough zeros. I'll take it. Not knowing you trading your peace, you trading your sanity, you're trading all of who you are in for some zeros on a piece of paper. No, tell the job, hold on. Okay, let me give you a call in a day or two. And go pray about it. Because ain't nothing worse than having a horrible job. Oh my God! You know the type of job you bring home with you. You arguing and I didn't even know why I'm mad. Oh, I'm mad because I still work there. The job when the alarm clock go off, you roll your eyes. Oh my God! I gotta go back in here again. You know I can't stand these people because you fell in love with the zeros. So here's the end. Yeah. When they had a seat in the right position, catch the fullness of the miracle. We're not one of them churches where you're going to get a whole bunch of hollering and closing. I really need to. My job, for real, every great pastor job, is to make sure that when you leave church, you leave with a thought. A group of thoughts. Because that's how you change. You don't change from hallelujah, thank you, Jesus. You really change from thinking.
That's right. Yeah.
Watch, catch the end of the miracle, Price. Jesus took 2 fish, 5 barley loaves, right? You could actually fit it in 2 hands. And they had 12 baskets of leftovers. Because they sat down in the right seat.
Yes.
Had they sat in the wrong seat, it would have been insufficient. It would have been not enough But because they sat in the right seat, God gave them enough for leftovers.
Yes. Yes.
Can I tell you, beloved, above all things, God wants you to prosper and be in good health as your soul prospers. God wants to bless you with enough for leftovers. He does. But you have to make sure that you're seated in the right spot. Amen?
Amen.
Amen. Jesus is God's son. This is a seat I know.